Hello, this is Northwest Trains, and this is part 2 of the micro layout. And you can see I've got the track down now. Well, I've got most of the track down. I've painted up the rails, rusted them up a bit. I've just got to weather the sleepers. But yeah, I want to get the track down roughly to where it's going. And I put the power track in here, 2 wires soldered to the track. And just going to give it a little test run, show what we can do with the space. So we've got the little Hornby 060 packet now. So that can come to the end here, and that can fit that loco in a small coach or a wagon. So let's switch that for now. So I've had our job to try and get this logo to work smoothly, because it doesn't seem to like dead spots and points, but it's behaving itself at the moment. And then so this loco, we're just basically moving out the way so we can bring our main train out. So put this in as like a little bit of a, that's just going to be a siding, so anyone visiting the heritage line can see whatever's on display here. Then we have our main running shed siding. It's going to be a twin engine shed. Again, it's only going to come to about here, but it'll give the impression of a bigger engine shed. I've also going to put this inspection pit in. I think I'm going to do it in the inside of the part of the shed as well, so I'll go through that in a minute. So yeah, that's nice, simple, basic track work. So I'm just going to bring the Hatton's Andrew Barclay out now. Change direction. So this is the sort of train that we used to see in little heritage centres or railways. Small little Andrew Barclay or a Peco engine, because they're cheap and economical to run. And also it fits a small space ideally. So see that loco and coach fits into that space just right. And then I'm going to bring it towards what's going to be our little mini station area here. So the little platform is going to be connected to the engine shed building, and I might put the back of the museum building here. Again, it just gives the impression that it's a bit bigger than it actually is. So that's our first little running session, little demonstration. So I'm just going to move the Andrew Barclay again out of the way. And I'll go through how I'm doing this inspection pit. First time I've ever done one of these, so anyone with any ideas, let me know what you think. Right, so taking a look at this inspection pit kit that we have here, we can either create one that's about 1 foot long, or you can create 2 around 6 inches long. So I'm just going to put one together. So basically 3 sections of these. You get 6 sections. Just put that there so you can see. And 3 sections add up to a length of rail. So I'm just going to basically make a length of rail which suits my layout perfectly. I've not done one of these before, like I said, but it looks simple enough. So basically that there, just 3 of these. All you do is take them off the sprues, just carefully cut them off with a knife, and they simply clip together like that. So with this being my finished 3, it says in the instructions to glue them together, and also, because I'm not going to be joining any more parts, these can be cut off. I'm just doing this because I use a Stanley knife every day for work, but craft knife on a cutting mat's probably more recommended. Again, this side, 2 little excess bits, like so, cut off, and it does recommend to glue them together. So I'll stick a bit of adhesive on them. I'll be using a bit of this stuff to glue the parts together, but I suppose any poly cement or even the what's it called, the rapid card glue that you can get, that'll probably do the trick as well. But I mean, this stuff's quite strong, so I'm just going to use this for now and glue underneath. And then repeat the process for the 3rd piece, and then we'll look at sticking the rails on. Right, well that's drying. Going to look at the other bits. So we've got the steps here and the inspection plates. So these things I think can pretty much go anywhere. So again, just cut off the excess with a knife. Again, if you're not used to doing it, just use a mat or an old piece of wood to cut against. And basically, the steps just use this piece while that's gluing. So that piece there just literally goes on the end of your inspection pit either side. So just glue that in. And that piece there, I think, just trim off the edge of that one as well. Should just be able to put anywhere, oops, with my fat fingers, try a pair of tweezers. I presume this just sits anywhere you'd like it to sit, so you don't have to glue them in, you can change them around. But that's that anyway. And in regards to cutting the hole out for this, because my board's only 5mm MDF, a good blade and a Stanley knife will do the trick. But what I'd say is, or before we start even, I've just got this piece of track setter just to keep the track straight, and this here is almost, we get a piece of spare track, the same width as length flexi track. So as long as, I think, if I get rid of that fish plate in a sec, as long as I keep that in line with the sleepers. So I've lined it up now with the piece of track to keep it straight. What I'm going to try and do now is just draw a pencil line across here, which should give me a straight edge. So I can see that now. And then I'm also going to measure this. I have that at 7mm. So then I transfer that onto the track and then do my marks, and then I measure the thickness of the pit, which looks to me it's about 14mm, and then I transfer that line across, and I've got my rectangle then to cut out. So I'll do that in a sec. Right, we have our finished hole now. It took about 5 or 6 goes with the knife to score through this. I did drill a hole either side first. I'll include it in the video, but I'll speed it up a bit so hopefully it's not too boring. But you could use a jigsaw, one of those little multi-cutters, any of them. But for me, just for sake of having loud machinery basically, or anything, and because I'm used to using a Stanley knife, I could just do it quickly there and then with a knife without any trouble or without cutting myself. So that's our inspection pick glued together. So I've just got to put the last rail in. They are quite stiff, and it says to leave enough space on the sides to allow for a fish plate. So, but they fit in nice. I was always a bit. I'm actually gonna cheat a bit and push against the box just to get the last bit in. So there we go. And I've done the hole quite tight, so I mean that looks pretty good. We put our steps in either side, like so. This one's a bit tight this side. I think I might have to just make a bit more room for it, but yeah, a little bit more compression there, but you get the idea of there. So all I'll do is use a little file just to rub the edges a little bit, just to give it a bit more room. But I think that looked pretty good, and it took me all of 10 minutes to do. So well, I'm going to cut a piece of flexible track to size rather than have 2 pieces. And then the next phase is these point motors, if we can find them. So these ones are going to go under the board. This plastic box screws underneath, and then this rod goes up through to the point motor here, like that. And all I was planning on doing to mark the spot basically was to use one of these, a little pin vise drill, and all I'll do is put that through where the point motor goes, and I'll carefully drill out a tiny little hole, and that will give me my marking point for our bigger drill. So I can drill out the point motor holes. I think that will conclude today's video, and so the next update, hopefully we'll have the track down, we'll have the point motors wired up, and we can see a bit more running, and I'll go through what I'm going to do next on the layout. So hope you like how the layout's come on so far. I know it's not much, but I like how it's going, and look forward to seeing more of it done. So thanks a lot for watching, and keep an eye out for the next video.